Channel, you're online. We're ready to go. Welcome, everybody. Q Sports International's presentation of the 2017 J. Swanson Tournament, the Swanee, at On Q Billiards here in La Mesa, California. You got Brian Parks and Chris Tate. This is down to the last 32 players on Sunday morning. You've got started out with 128 full field, and we're down to the last quarter. Everybody here today is in the money, and this will be a race to 8. And it's Brian Parks and Chris Tate. Brian's wearing the hat, about to break the balls in bright red. He got here beating me last night, actually. And by the way, this is George Tate. So this is a winner's side match. They've both players have won 3 matches, so this will be the 4th round of the winner's side. Playing 3-foul rule. 9-ball does count on the break. Magic rack is required. This table is a gold crown Brunswick. It has 4-inch pockets. Plays very tight, very fast, and very nice. Great playing table. I had the pleasure of playing my first match on it yesterday. Well, I played on it yesterday. I don't know if I had pleasure playing on it. I did happen to win, but it wasn't pleasurable. Chris is pushing out here, leaving a long shot. Says, Brian says, it's too far away, I don't even want to look at it. It's too early in the morning. Both players are very much the gentlemen. Don't see anything going on here. Brian, I believe, has quite a few big tournaments under his belt. He's a 704 Fargo, I believe. I'm not sure what Chris is. And Chris is a 607 and made it through. Wow, good. You can see with the Fargo rate, Brian being almost 100 points favorite. He's at 90% versus 10%, meaning that if he play 100 matches, he'll probably win 90 of them in a race to 8. But I think everybody in the pool world knows that people have off days, and people have great days, and it's very possible. But it's fairly accurate. So a lot of it has to do with the data entered into Fargo. He's got to make sure he cues low on this ball. He doesn't want to cue high on it because it'll kill the ball off the rail. He's cueing a little bit high on it. Oh, he's center ball. He's using center ball. Comes straight up. Yep. Cuts it real thin. He came up too far, I believe. Well, there's always a side pocket, but over a ball. The bed of this table is awfully fast. The rails are very good speed, and the reason for the bed being faster than normal is they've got five lights over the table that aren't normally there, so it kind of dries it out and warms it up a little bit, which will speed it up. So the rest of the tables in here don't play like this. It's a humid day here in San Diego. It's been raining for 3 days. Back and forth, perfect. See how nice the ball's rolling? What's nice is the meso ball really lets you see how it comes off the rails, and you can gauge so much on by using the meso ball, where you don't see that with the red circle or the other cue balls. That's actually one of my favorite balls to play with, and I believe they're all meso balls here with the Aramith. These are the Aramith tournament. Who just won? Oh, should I tell him that you just won that game? You can talk to me, Steve. Stephen Kwan, our technical director here, he takes care of all the stuff from CSI. Um, he says, "Okay, who just won that game?" He didn't know the players, and I guess now he's mad at me because I said that. He didn't want anybody to know that. But he hides behind the screens and doesn't even look up to the players. He just sees them on the boob tube here. So it's alternate break format. So Chris will be breaking the balls. I watched Chris warm up a little bit. He strokes the ball pretty good. He was hitting the ball pretty good. But as you can tell, 100 points in Fargo rate usually kind of suggests that the higher rated player is almost twice as good as the player he's playing. I don't think that's quite the case when you get up to like the 800 to 700, but the 600 and 700 is, I don't want to say fairly accurate, but I think it's a good read. It's a decent read. It'll give you a good idea. In other words, the 600 rated player knows he's in for a real tough time. He's really going to have to bring it. And the 700 player might have a tendency to relax a little bit and feel that he's got an easier game, which, of course, is a recipe for disaster. He got too straight on this ball, so he's going to have to either go forward with it, rail first, or draw it, or settle for a shot. Nice shot there. The low deflection cues help you do shots like that because they don't come off exactly the way a normal cue does. And I can tell by the tip that he has on that shaft that it's a low deflection cue. Or shaft, excuse me. It's got the real short ferrule. Probably a predator or a tiger. And there's your 4-inch pockets, but he missed it well and left it behind the 6 ball. He may be able to go rail first with a little bit of juice. If he digs into the cue ball, he may be able to spin it over there and make this ball. Spin around the 6, enough to hit the rail and make the ball. Looking for the bridge. It's on this side of the table. It's on that side of the table too. He wants 2 bridges? Bridge on top of a bridge? No, he's gonna kick this ball. I think I'd rather masse it. And that's exactly why. See how he kind of lunged at that ball with the stick? And he actually put a little bit of English on the ball and it went the other way, away from the ball instead of towards the ball. He lunged at the ball with his body and it moved both the bridge and the stick actually. And this is just a straight up and down, but watch the speed of this ball. He's coming all the way down, pretty close to the bottom rail. Well, first diamond. Tough cut either way. Either he plays the ball or he'll play safe behind the 9. hit it fat, and the cue ball opened up, went right in the corner pocket. If he cuts that ball, he might actually risk scratching the side pocket. But good opportunity for Chris. Opportunity squandered. We're in sunny San Diego. It's very overcast, raining, and cold. It's a nice Saturday morning. Wait a minute, it's a Sunday morning. Steve looked at me like, yeah. That's what happens when you're retired. You forget what day it is. Every day is Saturday. Straight in here, and fairly straight in, excuse me. He had enough to stroke that ball and just not have to roll it. And game number 2 goes to Brian Parks. He's from, I believe he's from Bakersfield, California. In fact, Brian has a real nice setup at his house. I believe he's got 2 tables set up, and it's Mitch Ellerman showed me a nice picture of this place. He's got a 7-foot diamond table and a 9-foot diamond table. So that would be a fun place to spend Super Bowl and have a ring game. Meanwhile, we're at the Swanee in San Diego, on cue billiards, La Mesa, California. Everybody out there, keep in mind, I believe next weekend on cue we'll be hosting the Mez Tour, and then this weekend, of course, we got the Jay Swanson Memorial, which is what we're playing right here. 128 players, and a long waiting list to boot. It's gone off without a hitch. It's been run by Amy Kane and Mark Griffith. Steve Kwan, our technical director for Q Sports International. I'll be spending a lot more time with him this summer, I hope, in the U.S. Open 8-ball and 10-ball championships, the Nationals. And you can see the right side of the ball. Not much you can do with it. You can try to make it in the left-hand corner pocket, or bounce it right back up table and play safe. Cue ball's going to head towards the bottom table here by the 3. He's drawing the ball. He's drawing it up. Went for it, made it, and it looks like the 2-ball may go by the 9. If it doesn't, he'll either look to play the 9, play safe. It does go by. Spun the ball real nice over to the right with a lot of inside English, or in this case, right-hand English. Got straight in on the 3 where he does not want to be, since he wants to head over to the left side of the table for the 4-ball. Might be able to stun it over just a bit. Oh, he did more than that. He spun it down. Very well done. This is a stop shot for the 6. He won't mind getting straight in on the 7-ball. He'll try to leave the cue ball right where his hand is. Because that way he just comes up for the 8 and or just stops it for the 8 and easy leads to the 9-ball real quick. Well done by Brian. He'd like to have been a little straighter. This table's pretty fast, so he'll probably end up right where the 8-ball is now. Straight in on the 9. Rack number 3. Barring an earthquake. 3-0. Look at your percentages now. There's only well, at 2-0 it was a 4% chance of Chris winning this match, according to Fargo. At 3-0, there's a 2% chance. Basically saying that in a race to 8, trailing 3-0, out of 100 matches, or close to 100 matches, he might win 2 of them. That's because Brian's going to take a nap and afford him the opportunity to win. Let's see if Chris can get out of the gates here and give us a little thriller and break and run a rack, break and make the 9, break and control the table. 3 different ways of winning a 9-ball game. Nice break. Cue ball's up in the middle. Didn't make anything. It's open. And he's left a pretty good opening. Decent shot on the 1, leading to the 2, 3-8 combo. Lays out pretty nice. Nothing's tied up. But it is a very, very tight pocketed table, so let's see what Brian does with this. He misses the opening shot. Overcuts the ball slightly, catches the corner, and does not take advantage of a run opportunity. Oh, that was pretty close. That gave him a thrill. Cue ball coming so close to the side pocket for a scratch. The little combo, good speed. Don't get behind the 9 here. Perfect. 2 ways to go at this ball for position. 3 rails or 2. Or stop it right there. I thought he had more angle than that. He was pretty straight, was able to just kill it. So far, so good. He's got just a little bit of a funny angle. Was able to just stop it there, stay there. He's got to come over for the 7. Again, doesn't mind being straight in. He just follow down a little bit. Nice job by Chris. Now he just wants to roll this ball in for his first game. There it is. Well, he didn't break and run, but he did break and then run out from the 1 ball when he returned to the table. Good job. Right at 600 is about where you get players that'll run a table with, I'd say, ease, some ease, especially when they're laying like that one was. I don't want to take away from his game. 600 Fargo is right where you start being a little bit more than a respectable player in relation to, you know, the 700s, the 800s, 800s being top level, top tier pros. You got what guys like Shane Van Boning at 830 and change. You got some of the Chinese players. Some of the players we have here today, you got Rodney Morris at 782. You've got Vilma Foldis at possibly a little higher. Let's take a look. I think I have some of that information kind of handy. So if that's the case, we can look at it and really find out. Let's take a look at who our top players in this tournament are. According to Fargo, you got Francisco Bustamante at 796, Mr. Foldis at 790, Rodney Morris at 782, Mr. Gallego, another Filipino player, at 772. So you've got some heavy hitters here today. 128 players, and top 10 are in the 700s. Brian actually 704 is right at that level. Under him is where they go underneath into the 6s. Well struck, followed the ball well. He's got a long way up. Can he? Oh, he can see this. He could choose to play it off the 4 on the side. He could choose to just hit it down to the rail and run the cue ball up behind the 4. So he's got options. See what he chooses. He's going to play it in the upper right-hand corner pocket, it looks like. If you miss this ball, it's pretty much a sellout. If you don't miss this ball, it's pretty much a run out. So, in other words, he laid it on the line and said, I'm going for it. Those are the 3 ways to play that, in my most humble opinion. It's funny, I can find 3 ways to play that, and somebody else can find 3 different ways to play that. Neither is right, neither is wrong, just different. As long as you can execute what you play. Some have higher percentages, but it's all in what you're able to execute. And it looks like he'll be able to execute this run out. He's going to have to slow roll this, or is he going to go up and down? He'll slow roll it and take the little bit harder cut, not much of one. He says, I do want to move the magic rack. As long as he doesn't lay it down in front of the pocket, we'll be okay. Shouldn't matter within an inch of where that ball is. Usually in real big, serious tournament play, you'll have a referee come over and they'll use their little tool and put it in exactly the same location. That might have, moved by a millimeter. But it didn't matter. Ball's made, 4-1. Race to 8. Brian is halfway home. Coming up, July 17th through the 19th, you got the U.S. Open 10-ball championships presented by Q Sports International. It'll be held at Griff's on 9-foot diamond tables. People in the U.S. have been asking for the U.S. Opens to be played on 9-foot tables. Well, guess what, guys? For all of you 9-foot proponents that want to see the pros, really open up and play their best, here you go. And then July 29th through the 31st, we'll have the 8-ball U.S. Open Championships in the same place. And in between, we will have the Nationals. The 41st BCA APL National Championships at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. Did that last year. You got Cyclop balls, Diamond Billiard Products, the Rio, Q Sports International, all your sponsors. And the 9-ball, he rolled it down because he needed some exercise and wanted to walk down to get the ball, I guess. That was my attempt at humor, guys. It's early Sunday morning in not-so-sunny California, in La Mesa, California. This place lays out real nice. This room has been a great host to this tournament and to everybody here. They're great to get along with. Great staff. Had fun here. Got here Friday afternoon. Had a good time. Full service bar. I believe they only have beer and wine. They have a nice billiard table, 6x12 snooker table. 20 or 21, but they're using 20 tables. Gold Crown Brunswicks. 2 diamond bar boxes. Broke the balls, but gave up control. Now let's see how comfortable Brian is here. If he's comfortable, he'll try to bank this, but there's no future in banking it because there's no position on the 2-ball. So, more than likely he'll play safe, bring the cue ball around to the lower right-hand corner pocket. No, it went to the left-hand corner pocket and get behind the 9-5. Got perfect too, look at this. There you go. Actually more balls to hide behind, right there behind that stack of 3 balls than there was on the side, because on the right-hand side you got the 8, 6, and 2, kind of close to the rail, but you got a big window between the 4 and the 8. So, he actually played a real smart shot there. Nice hit. Dug down on the ball, came off short off the rail. Left his opponent straight into the side pocket. Again, with no shape. He can follow this if he wants, if he chooses. I'm not sure what he wants to do, because more than likely there's a safety coming next. So it's how he wants to play safe. There is a 3-foul rule, so in effect, so if he can 3-foul him 3 consecutive times, he can win the game. And the balls are laying kind of funny. You got a 6-8 cluster, 3-4. That's not going to get it. He wanted to hit the 3. If he comes off that rail and hits the 3, he uses the 4-ball to snooker the deuce. But he bumped the 4 instead of the 3. With 4-1 lead, you don't worry about it too much. If they were tied up, he'd be beating himself up a little bit. Something he shouldn't do. Long shot, a risk of scratching in the lower right-hand corner pocket. He's going to play the 9-ball. This can actually be it. Well, this can be a 2-way shot. If he can follow this ball, the cue ball is going to track off the bottom rail behind the 6-8. If he uses straight high English, I'm not sure if he's playing the 9 or not. He looked at it, aimed it. He did, but the cue ball tracked. 2-way shot. It's a free shot. Free shot. Brian's been around the block a little bit. I believe he has won the Rum Runner up in Las Vegas, which is a prestigious, I guess, bar table tournament that they have on a yearly basis in the Las Vegas area, and it's a good tournament to win. If you're a good player and you can win that, you know you're a good player when you win that. Excuse me, because you beat some people. It's a strong field comes out for that every year. Very strong field. Bar table specialist, champions, pros. Good prize monies, great Calcuttas. Little jump shot. Well, great results. Technique, not so much. Kind of throws his body at that jump shot. Overshot it by a little bit due to the speed of the table. Hard to judge when you come. He wanted to stop it about where the 8-ball is, in line with the 3. Then it rolled a little past it, about 8 inches maybe. But enough to see. Those little side pocket shots are so deceiving. When you play shape to the side pockets, if you don't get the right position and your speed's not right, well, now you're going to have to run the cue ball to find the right position or get the right for the next shot. And you have a tendency of doing what Brian just did with that shot. It's catching the corner instead of the center of the pocket. Well done by Chris. He just bumped the ball and slid over for position. You know, he might be trying to move the 6 here. Well, looks like he's going to be playing a 6-9 combo. It's lined up pretty good, as you can see. Nice. See, that's nice camera work by Steven. He knows what to move, how to move it, but didn't help Chris any. It helped us look at it. It didn't help Chris make it. That was a good opportunity for Chris to win a second game and close that gap to a 2-game lead instead of a 3-game lead, which could turn into a 4-game lead. And it looks like it's going to, because from here, we think Brian should be out. Is it enough? It is, because see how fast this table is, how nice that English comes off. You can see the meso. The meso ball tells you what's going on. You can see it just spin over, and the English takes nice off the rails. The bed allows it to roll. Nice equipment. Real nice equipment. Table's playing very, very nice. Very well. Haven't seen a roll off on it. Pockets are cut well. They're consistent cut all the way around. And we're down to a 1% chance. So basically, we're looking for a miracle. 5 games to 1. And Mr. Tate will head over to the one-loss side. And actually, he's done well to get where he's at. Done very well. So he's played some good matches. He had to win 3 to get here. This is his 4th match on the winner's side. We're down to the last 32 players out of 128 that started yesterday morning at 9 o'clock. Full field, waiting list of probably 25 players. Good. No, I'm not going to call it. It's a great turnout. And we've got a strong field here. Strong field. It's been a fun tournament. Yesterday was fun all day long. It has a fun attitude. There's a couple of players here that are taking it serious, but they're still having fun. Some of the matches going on right now. You got Rodney Morris in the match. You got Vilmos Foldis versus Mitch Ellerman. Clean plate on a table right behind us. The problem is I don't recognize a lot of the players. I don't know a lot of players. Nestor Dominguez and Rami Bakhtiri. Oscar's playing, another gentleman, Oscar Dominguez. Francisco Bustamante is in a match. I believe I saw something where in the last 2 or 3 matches, Francisco's only lost 2 games. So he's beating his opponent's 8. He's being merciless. Meanwhile, Brian pushed out to a bank on the 2 or a safety. Says, you decide, but both balls are on a rail opposite each other. On a side rail opposite each other. Interesting. I'd give it back to him. About the only way to shoot that is to kind of hit it soft and roll into the 4 or the 3 and try to get behind one of those balls, and don't let that 2 ball come all the way in front of that pocket. But the 3-7's tied up. That's going to stop in a good place. Yeah, like right in front of the pocket. Well, if I'm Chris, I'm going to play safe for that 3-9 and probably billiard in, try to carry him in the 9. Or try to get where I can make the 3 and have a 4-9 combo. But I tell you, if you solve this riddle, it's open after the 4. I'm not sure the 7 ball goes. Can't tell. He's playing safe behind it. Did not get it. Looks like the 3 ball may go by the 6. If it does, he still has work to do to get shape on the 4. He can draw it and come straight back across because this table's so nice. It just plays so well. It allows you to do things you might not be able to do on other tables. And you don't have to slam the ball. You can stroke it real nice. just like he went that way. Okay. Now see, I would. He tried to come around it. He could have also did with just straight center English instead of the lower left, lower right that he put on that. No, lower left he put on that. He could have come straight over. Now he's got to jump the ball. Now do you jump and try to make the 8? Do you jump and try to cut it in the side and let the cue ball go into the 7? These are his decisions. Those of you watching out there that might have been here yesterday, someone left a very nice Predator Air jump cue in the corner by table 8. He turned it in last night. He went to the side pocket and scratched off the 7. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was a good shot to go into the side and go into the 7. I was wrong. So was he. Good opportunity, great opportunity for Chris here. Wants to get good. Oh, he kind of poked at that ball, and when you do that on a tight table, those are the results you normally get. Because poking at the ball doesn't yield very good results. Now his decision here is to come either between the 7 and the rail and play the 7 in the lower right hand corner, or just follow it straight up and stay on the left side of the 7. He went around it. And from here on out, it's connect the dots. He's not too worried about getting on the 8. He wants to leave himself. He wants to be about 2 feet or 1.5 feet away from the 9 here, with a nice angle to the corner. More than likely he'll come off the side rail. Ooh, he's going to come all the way down for the side pocket. I don't think he was going there, but he got there. A little bit more cut than we want. Six to 1. I don't think the odds are going to change any. It's still going to be 99 to 1. Or the percentages are going to change any. It's still 99 to 1. Because even at 7 to 1, it's to be 99 to 1. I don't think I've ever seen 100% to 0. Because there's always, you know, as long as there's life, there's got to be a chance. Alternate break format that allows Chris Tate to come back to the table against Brian Parks. You're watching the 2017 Jay Swanson Memorial. This is the 21st edition, I believe. They've had this, I think it was 1996 when they had the first one. And this is the 21st edition of the Jay Swanson Memorial here at OnCue. It's been held here quite a few times, and I know it's been held in L.A., Hard Times, College Billiards here in San Diego. It's always been a fun big tournament. And it's always a full field. I mean, there's times they've had a lot more than 128 players. I think they capped it at 128 this year because it's hard to run that type of a tournament in 2 days on 20 tables. I mean, Amy Kane's done a great job of doing so, keeping everything running. First available table. The room is full of players all across the bar, watching, players waiting, players playing. Fun environment. You want to spend a weekend sometime and enjoy San Diego if you really love pool, if you're a poolaholic. this would be the place to be. T-shirts available from Fast and Loose Designs. Oh, long shot's going to turn out pretty good. Looks like Chris has a nice shot that just kind of come off the left side of the 3 and go behind the 6-9 with the cue ball. Try to get a little bit of a hook on it. There's not really, he could try to play the 8 with the cue ball. That's exactly what he did. And he came out okay, actually, because there's not much he can do with the 3. I think he had a higher percentage of being successful with a little bit of a hook and getting a safety out of it. But had he made that ball, things would have been a little bit different, and he might have had a shot on the 3. Those are all options you have to decide. Come to the table, make up your mind what to shoot, shoot it, execute it. Sometimes you can execute the wrong shot the right way and still be okay. But for the most part, when you execute the right shot the wrong way and you're still able to get it done, it still works out better for you. Shooting the right shots is where it's at. Shooting the wrong shots will get you in more trouble, shot after shot. A lot of it is shot selection. Staying on the right side of balls so you can run to your next angle, run angle to angle. Like here, he should just follow this, go 2 rails to just past the center of the table on the right to shoot the 7 in the upper left-hand corner. He's going to come too far because of this table. No, it's actually not that bad at all. He'd like to have been about 4 inches over to the left, but it's still there. No problem. He'll be able to hit the head rail and come down. It's much better, much more controlled than a draw shot. Less chance of a miscue. And here, with a follow shot like that, you can fall on your position instead of roll to your position with a draw. And you're more consistent with the speed. More predictable with the speed. Gets a second game. 6-2. Let's see if our Fargo rate percentages change. Nope. Because what this is basically saying is, once Brian wins one more game, Chris has to win 6 to be successful. Because if Brian wins the second game, the match is over. And in order for Chris to win, he has to hold Brian to 1 win. And he has to find a way to win 6 games in order to win this match. Hold a stronger opponent to 1 and win 6 is his challenge of the day. Cue ball, side pocket, nope, close. But he didn't give up anything. The 1 ball still hiding behind the 6. Interesting to see what Brian, looks like it's froze to the rail too, so see how he handles it. Will he push or will he just shoot the ball and try to stop the cue ball right there? Looks like he has room to do that too. He can just stop the ball, hit the 1 ball, go 2 rails out of there and stop the cue ball. Maybe he gets 8 behind the 6. It's tough to do because the ball is froze and it's on the corner, it looks like. It appears to be on the corner, so you don't know if it's going to catch the other corner and come right back into the cue ball or come out. If I'm Chris, I'm at least going to get up and look to see if it's froze. He's looking at it. Another big U.S. Open coming up, April 10th to the 14th, with the $10,000 guaranteed added money, $550 entry fee is the 2017 U.S. Open Straight Pool Championships being held in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. For info or to enter, visit playcsipool.com. 2017 U.S. Open Straight Pool. Q Sports International puts on all the U.S. Opens: 8-ball, 10-ball, straight pool, and 9-ball. U.S. Open Bar Table Championships, or U.S. Bar Table Championships, coming up in December, the 10th through the 16th. That'll be in Las Vegas, Nevada. July 17th through the 31st, you'll have the 41st BCAPL National Championships at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. Boy, when they set that up, it's one heck of a venue. You've got 40 vendors. If it's pool, it's there. What a great place to spend a few days, or a lot of days. And guess what? You're right next to the biggest adult playground in the country, Las Vegas. Chris Tate trying to get his third game in a race to 8 against Brian Parks. Things are looking good. He wants to get on this 4-ball. Does he have the angle to come down? He does. Looking good. Careful with the 8-ball here. You don't want to run into it. I don't think he will. He'll come up. Oh, but you got to make the ball. No matter what, you got to make the ball. I'm not so sure that. Yeah, I think he could cut the 5 if he had to. He might be. Can't tell. But he's left a long shot. Jarred that 4-ball right out of that pocket. 4-inch pockets, folks. They don't quite go in like regular pockets. See what I mean? These pockets will make a grown man cry sometimes. Cuts down your run-out ratio considerably. Because if you're not close to the ball, those long shots get tedious after a while. You can fade a few of them. You're not going to fade a lot of them. But Chris is not going to. He's going to fade all of them here. Come down for the 8-ball. He'd like to get straight in on this 8-ball. He'd like to end up like about 1.5 feet in front of the side pocket. Like about there. Game number 3. Under the belt, closing the gap to 3 games. He's halfway to winning those 6 games he needs. Well, I'm sorry, he's 1 game. He still needs 5 more. I said that wrong. And he's got the break, so that's actually a big game when you're playing an alternate break format. And you win on your opponent's break. It's the same as breaking serve in tennis. So, it's actually big. I've seen some matches go where, each player breaks and runs out. The next player breaks and runs out. They go back and forth, back and forth. Brings to mind a perfect match that I got to experience in Las Vegas this past summer between Josh Roberts and Shane Van Boening. The only miss or error in the entire match was a break and scratch by Josh. Other than that, they were break and run-outs by both players. I think it was a race to... I don't remember if it was a race to 8 or a race to 9. It was a race to 8, I believe. So you had basically 15 run-outs by 2 players. And Shane did run out the game that Josh scratched on. Back to this match. You got Chris trying to get his 4th game in a race to 8. 1 ball goes straight inside. It's the only ball that goes in. Has a long shot on the 2, and for a change, the cue ball is right in the middle of the magic rack, and the 9 ball's on the rail. Usually it's the 9 ball that sits right where the cue ball is. This actually lays pretty good. I can't. There we go. We got it. Yeah, if he makes this, he'll have a decent shot on the 3-8 combo. But no, the cue ball went all the way around. He's going to make the 4 ball? No, not quite. He's going to let Brian come back to the table. Something he does not want to do. He'd like to keep Brian in that chair because he can control Brian when he's in the chair. He can't do anything about him when he's at the table. Because when he comes to the table, he does stuff like that, which is detrimental to Chris's health. That was well played to, put the cue ball back in position, knowing where the 3 ball was going to end up from the 8. And giving yourself on the 3 ball, not just making the combo, but playing position for the ball. Side pocket is pretty much. Will he just stop it there, or will he try to get closer to it? Stopping it there allows him to hit the head rail and come straight in line for the 9. Running up doesn't let him do that. Yeah, I thought he would just stop it. Now he can just stun the ball to the left, hit the head rail, and come down to about a diamond above the side pocket. I like being close to the 9 ball when I shoot it. He's going to be too close to the 9 ball when he shoots it. That's, in my opinion, too close, but it's perfect for a left-hander. He'd rather have been about 3 inches, 4 inches back. But he made that work rather well. On the hill, race to 8. He'll move up and stay on the winner's side. And Chris will move over to the 1-loss slide if he doesn't win the next 5 games. Brian still has 1 to go. So there's still life for Chris. But it will be an exciting one. Pressure packed. Some players thrive on it. Some players fold under it. And some players just bide their time. But either way, he's in a tough position. Back against the wall. And he's got a tough opponent striking at him. More people filing through the doors here at On Cue Billiards in La Mesa, California. San Diego area. Cue ball, side pocket. 1 ball off the table, 3, 6, 9, no balls off the table. All 9 balls are all present and accounted for, and you got to make them before you get to the 9. Or find a way to make the 9 after a legal hit. With the 2-3 where they are, if the 6 wasn't there, I'd blast at this 9 ball. Not really. I'd probably play safe. Make the ball, try to open it up. There's so many things it's just all choices. Well, is he going to draw back, or is he going to try to go 2 rails into the deuce off the right-hand side? Came straight down here, but for what reason? It's a tough, tough, tough combo from there. Do you just push it forward and lay the cue ball on the 3? No, you just go ahead and go for it and leave the cue ball long. Say, okay, you can shoot the 2, but you have to go around the world to get position on the 3. I don't think he can pocket the deuce and hold the cue ball for position. He'd have to go around the table. Let's see what he tries or what he does here. He just goes for the safety. Automatic. He left the shot, but left the shot with no future. In other words, go ahead and make the deuce. Good luck getting on the 3. He's got a nice shot here. Go rail first and go 4 rails for position on the 3. But he's going to go straight out of the pocket and come down. Just like that. 2 ways to play that. That's one of them. And a successful one at that. If he goes 4 rails, he has to come between the 5 and the 8. So. Well, looks like it's connect the dots, roadmap, whatever you want to call this, but it's going to take a mistake by Brian for Chris to come back to the table. An unforced error by Brian. And I don't see that in his future. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen right here. Where that cue ball comes around and might scratch on the side. But at that speed, no. This is a little bit of a tester. You know, maybe not so much for Brian, but for your average player, this is a little bit of a tester. Tight, tight pockets, and that's what makes it a tester. If it was big pockets, it'd be no problem. Didn't test him very much. He got perfect position. Match is over. Brian Parks moves on. Chris Tate goes to the 1 loss side. Good luck, gentlemen. What's nice is the meso ball really lets you see how it comes off the rails, and you can gauge. You can gauge so much on the by using the meso ball, where you don't see that with the red circle or the other cue balls. That's actually one of my favorite balls to play with, and I believe they're all meso balls here with the Aramith. These are the Aramith tournament. Who just won? Oh, should I tell them that you just won that game? You can talk to me, Steve. Steve Kwan, our technical director here, he takes care of all the stuff from CSI. He says, "Okay, who just won that game?" He didn't know the players, and I guess now he's mad at me because I said that. He didn't want anybody to know that. But he hides behind the screens and doesn't even look up to the players. He just sees them on the boob tube here. So it's alternate break format. So Chris will be breaking the balls. I'll watch Chris warm up a little bit. He strokes the ball pretty good. He was hitting the ball pretty good. But as you can tell, 100 points in Fargo rate usually kind of suggests that the higher rated player is almost twice as good as the player he's playing. I don't think that's quite the case when you get up to like the 800 to 700, but the 600 and 700 is, I don't want to say fairly accurate, but I think it's a good read. It's a decent read. It'll give you a good idea. In other words, the 600 rated player knows he's in for a real tough time. He's really going to have to bring it. And the 700 player might have a tendency to relax a little bit and feel that he's got an easier game, which, of course, is a recipe for disaster. He got too straight on this ball, so he's going to have to either go forward with it, rail first, or draw it, or settle for a shot. Channel, you're online. We're ready to go. Welcome, everybody. Q Sports International's presentation of the 2017 J. Swanson Tournament, the Swanee, at On Q Billiards here in La Mesa, California. You got Brian Parks and Chris Tate. This is down to the last 32 players on Sunday morning. You've got started out with 128 full field, and we're down to the last quarter. Everybody here today is in the money, and this will be a race to 8. And it's Brian Parks and Chris Tate. Brian's wearing the hat, about to break the balls in bright red. He got here beating me last night, actually. And by the way, this is George Tate. So this is a winner's side match. They've both players have won 3 matches, so this will be the 4th round of the winner's side. Playing 3-foul rule. 9-ball does count on the break. Magic rack is required. This table is a Gold Crown Brunswick. It has 4-inch pockets. Plays very tight, very fast, and very nice. Great playing table. I had the pleasure of playing my first match on it yesterday. Well, I played on it yesterday. I don't know if I had pleasure playing on it. I did happen to win, but it wasn't pleasurable. Chris is pushing out here, leaving a long shot. Says, Brian says, it's too far away. I don't even want to look at it. It's too early in the morning. Both players are very much the gentlemen. Don't see anything going on here. Brian, I believe, has quite a few big tournaments under his belt. He's a 704 Fargo, I believe. I'm not sure what Chris is. And Chris is a 607 and made it through. Wow, good. You can see with the Fargo rate, Brian being almost 100 points favorite. He's at 90% versus 10%, meaning that if he play 100 matches, he'll probably win 90 of them in a race to 8. But I think everybody in the pool world knows that people have off days, and people have great days, and it's very possible. But it's fairly accurate. So a lot of it has to do with the data entered into Fargo. He's got to make sure he cues low on this ball. He doesn't want to cue high on it because it'll kill the ball off the rail. He's cueing a little bit high on it. Oh, he's center ball. He's using center ball. Comes straight up. Yep. Cuts it real thin. He came up too far, I believe. Well, there's always a side pocket, but over a ball. The bed of this table is awfully fast. The rails are very good speed, and the reason for the bed being faster than normal is they've got five lights over the table that aren't normally there, so it kind of dries it out and warms it up a little bit, which will speed it up. So the rest of the tables in here don't play like this. It's a humid day here in San Diego. It's been raining for three days. Back and forth, perfect. See how nice the ball's rolling.